So we're at Shazam number 9. This is the variant cover. And then we have if I can get in there, the regular cover. Shazam, Don't Fear the Creeper. So this one is actually going to be a team up with the Creeper. I have come to the conclusion that this series is aimed at children. And so I think I am not the target audience for it. But we'll go through it anyway. And again, I don't avoid spoilers. So Jack Ryder, who is also known as the Creeper, there's the Creeper, created by Steve Ditko in the 1970s, I believe, the early 1970s, maybe late 60s. He's interviewing him because apparently Billy Batson has a website, and it's a very pro Captain Marvel website. Although at some point he was also talking about what Jack Ryder calls a souffle-faced, grotesque, elemental, a metamorpho. So it seems a little weird that he's here interviewing somebody who just owns a website. But he also talks about how he believes that Billy has the potential to be a broadcaster, which is what he was in older comics. He was a broadcaster, despite being rather young. The original Billy Batson was a bit of a strange character in the sense that he was a kid who seemed to operate as an adult because he had his own. He had a job. He had no apparent parents or family. So that was, I always thought that was kind of funny. So he ends up giving Billy a ride, and Billy finds these papers. And so he asks what they are, and Jack Ryder says they're vocal exercises and suggests doing them. So Billy starts to do these vocal exercises, and they're just names of cities: Belarus, Antipolo, Gibraltar, Kenosha, Zambia. And so Billy starts going through and practicing, and then boom, changes into Captain Marvel because Jack Ryder had put Kenosha and Zambia. So he says Kenosha, and then Zam, boom, becomes Captain Marvel. And so Jack Ryder had figured out through some surveillance footage that Billy Batson and Captain Marvel are the same. And another interesting thing that Mark Waid is doing is he says, Billy, I can't believe he fell for that. And Jack Ryder says, hang on, aren't you Billy? Now that has been how it has been for decades. That Captain Marvel and Billy are the same. But that's not how it originally was in the Golden Age and in the up to the at least Bronze Age. So Mark Waid appears to be, he already has introduced the name Captain. They can't say Captain Marvel for legal reasons. DC can't say it. But he's now Captain. And now he's splitting the characters off. And I like that because it's bringing him back to his roots. And then Jack Ryder changes into the Creeper, and they just take off because the Creeper knows where a villain is. And that villain, you can see everyone there. They're not in shadows. They are shadows. Because it is the Shadow Thief. And they're there to fight Shadow Thief, but Shadow Thief is able to make himself immaterial. And so he is a rather powerful villain. And it is kind of, I would say, like I said, aimed at children in the sense that this story is just zooming along. And also, I will say this, that Mark Waid has written some legendary comics, but I've never known him to be funny, and I still don't know him to be funny because he's trying to make Creeper funny, but he's not. In my opinion, he's failing. So he's like, he makes funny faces. He says, I miss the old days with bank robberies. Okay, whatever. Shadow Thief causes the train to derail, and then so Captain Marvel has to stop it. And then Creeper is just getting silly. But let me see. I never dared hope for a lumpy, bumpy thrill ride. Stay away from me, freak. Ha 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 ha. It's just not, I don't know. It's not funny. Stop talking to me like I'm just an old maniac. All right. So they managed to capture the Shadow Thief because he changes from Shazam, Captain Marvel back into Billy, and the Flash disrupts the Shadow Thief's technology, and so they're able to take him down. So there we go. And they, rescue the people in there, and I don't know if that's the end of the team up with the Creeper, or if this is the start of more events with the two of them. But we end with Jack Ryder going to his home, and as he walks in the door, there's what looks like a jug of liquid that tips over, and it says, "Psst, Ryder." If I could turn the page, and it says, "Who you calling souffle face?" And then it pours out. So that's Metamorpho. Looking more like Plastic Man than, and so I mean, it's a little weird that he's, well, I guess he must be the jug because he's got the arms coming out of it. So yeah, that's a little weird. And I don't know if that's just a final joke or if that's a lead into the next story. I have a feeling that that's just a joke. So that's the way it ends. I keep saying this, but I'm really losing interest. The series it's doing well enough that I keep buying the issues. Plus the fact that if I want to, I have all these on pre-order, and so I'd have to actively go in and stop it. But it's a mediocre series, I think. I know that on Comic Book Roundup they have an aggregate score of 9.1 from reviewers and an 8.8 user rating. Those are pretty good scores. I wouldn't give it that scores, but maybe if I were 11 years old, maybe it would delight me more. Anyway, so that's Shazam number 9 by Mark Waid.